We are only 3 weeks into the 2019 Montana legislature.
And as KPAX's Mike Dennison reports, lawmakers are doing something they don't usually do at this point in the session.
And that is taking early positive and bipartisan votes to advance major funding bills.
On the House floor Wednesday, lawmakers voted 97-3 to endorse a $78 million two-year inflationary increase in state funding for public schools.
We wanted to get it to the floor as rapidly as possible. This is a major part of school funding, and school districts are waiting for these numbers so they can start working on their budgets for next year.
And on Tuesday, a House committee took the unusual step of approving a state employee pay raise bill the same day of its first hearing. The bill, sponsored by Republican State Representative Julie Dooling of Helena, gives state and university employees a 50-cent per hour raise, both in 2020 and 2021. A Democrat usually carries the pay plan bill, and before, it's often been a political football, held by Republicans until late in the session and sometimes not passed at all. Dooling says she carried the bill at the request of Republican leadership, who wanted it and the school funding bill advanced quickly.
There are important issues that we need to deal with right now, and the longer you wait, the more animosity it can build between the two caucuses, and let's get it dealt with and out into the open right now.
Of course, these bills still have many rivers to cross in the legislative process. But longtime public sector union chief Eric Fever says the sheer speed of the pay raise vote was not what he expected.
Never happened before. Remarkable. And very bipartisan.
Fever says he felt before the session that the pay raise bill had good bipartisan support. He says his union, which represents thousands of state employees and teachers, also supports the school funding bill, but notes that it did not include other items that he feels are needed, like funding for preschool and an inflationary increase for special ed. Fever hopes those proposals will come later. But he says the early votes on big-dollar fundamental issues are a welcome change from past practices.
I am extremely happy that the legislature appears to be ready to acknowledge from the beginning that it has some fundamental funding obligations that it must meet. That's a good thing. That's a good Republican thing. That's a good Democrat thing.
Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
The next step for the pay raise bill is a vote on the House floor.